Donald Trump just had a meeting with a group of some truly incredible people who have dealt with some horrific situations in a number of different parts of the world, and his interactions with them are a disgrace to him as an individual, to the office of the presidency, to all of us because he represents us. He was meeting with nearly 24 foreigners who, like Nadia Murad, who's an Iraqi who was awarded a Nobel Peace Prize for speaking out against her torture and rape while in ISIS captivity. They had suffered religious persecution in their home countries from a variety of different places across the world. Now, he's gonna talk with Murad and listen to what he says. Also, look at his face as she is describing unimaginable suffering that she has experienced.
When ISIS attacked us, no one protected us. After 2003, we started to disappear from our area, from our homeland. When ISIS attacked us in 2014, they killed 6 of my brothers. They killed my mom. They took me to captivity with my 11 sister-in-law, with all my sister and my nieces. Our home is destroyed. We come to here, we go to Europe, we go to Arab country that ISIS did this. Everyone saw that. If we cannot protect our dignity, our family, all this happened to me. They killed my mom, my 6 brothers. They left behind them.
Where are they now?
They killed them.
Unbelievable. Okay, so let's start with the most obvious. She said twice about her whole family was killed. The mom was killed, 6 brothers were killed. And he's like, where are they now? They're dead. And she had to then explain that they're in a mass grave in Sinjar. She's like, I don't know how more specific you want me to be. I just told you 3 times they're dead, right? I mean, you could tell with his body language, but you didn't need the body language because he just flat out told you he wasn't paying attention. But when she won a Nobel Peace Prize, and all these people, you got a Holocaust survivor, you got someone who survived the massacres of the Rohingya Muslims in Myanmar, etc. Turn around and face them. Like, don't dismissively like turn your head a little bit and obviously not pay attention. I watched the whole interaction. It's just stunning how it was so obvious how little he cared. He's like, yeah. He's like, when is this gonna be over? This isn't about me at all. And so what happened to them? Okay, and he's not done. He said other asinine things.
It's about the whole community.
Okay, we're gonna look into it very
Thank
strongly.
You so much.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
And you had the Nobel Prize.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
But
they gave it to you for what reason? Maybe you can explain.
For what reason? For that after all this happened to me, I didn't give up.
Oh, really? Is that right?
It's
That's the first time.
And it's.
So you escaped?
I escaped, but I don't have my freedom yet.
Yeah, she escaped. She's in the Oval Office.
She's standing right there. Not a hologram, guys, not a hologram.
Okay, Sam Brownback, who unfortunately is the ambassador, had to remind Trump twice that she won the Nobel Prize. Nonetheless, at the end, he's like, oh, you won the Nobel Prize. Yeah. What did you think the whole thing was about, right? He's like, what'd you win it for? The thing she was explaining to you for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay,
and you could see in her face, we mentioned during the video, she'd just gotten done describing a situation, the worst thing that's happened to her, worse than I can imagine happening to anyone. And she doesn't care about the Nobel Prize. Like, that's the only thing he takes away from it. And he said, oh, but you won the Nobel Prize. She's like, I don't, what are you doing right now? And she describes all this and he says, we'll look into it very strongly.
Yeah, like
how insulting, how incredibly deeply insulting.
That's exactly what he was. He came off as a petulant child. He's not paying attention to you. He's showing you with his body language. He's showing you with his word usage and the fact that he can't even ask substantive questions. And it just really reinforces this is who this person is, especially the Nobel Prize comment, as if getting a prize is any way gonna offset the loss of your family members.
And really fast, I wanna try to reach out to any right wingers that might be watching this because they're gonna knee-jerk defend him and say, it was fine, why are you being so critical? But really, look at that body language. Like if you're telling me about how your family was slaughtered and I say, over and over, okay, now imagine if you were to be sitting and trying to talk to me and you were describing the worst thing that had ever happened to you. I don't know, you dialed up like a number and they asked if you wanted to speak English or Spanish and you lost your mind. Imagine if you're describing that situation to me and I turned away from you. Can you imagine how insulted, how offended you would be? And this is slightly worse than that.
No, but you don't have to worry about the body language. The body language is so obvious, but you don't have to worry about it because he told you he's not paying attention. Like if somebody, you opened up your heart for the first time ever, you told someone that a terrible sexual assault had happened to you and that your mom was killed and all of your brothers were killed, and they're like, so where are they? You'd be like, oh my God, this is the most heinous person I've ever met in my life. Yeah. I mean, it's just, all right. And then finally he said, the only positive things he said was, I know the area very well you're talking about. It's tough.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, first of all, you don't know the area at all, because earlier when she was talking about it, she said, well, before we were being attacked by ISIS, but now there's a battle between the Kurds and the Iraqis. And so now if I remember watching the clip for the first time going, oh, that's super interesting. I'd wanna know, hey, which side is attacking you? Are both sides attacking you? What can we do to help? This went through my head as I'm watching, because she talked for a little while. And he comes back and goes, so ISIS is gone? And she's like, yeah, but now the other guys are attacking. She's like, and he's like, the Kurds and the Iraqis. Like not paying attention.
The Kurds and the Venezuelans.
Yeah.
That's who.
And not only that, I know the area very well. You don't even know it's Iraq. You don't even know it's Iraq. I know and I can describe it to you. It's tough. That's the standard definition for anything where a country's going, something's going wrong. It's tough. And finally, we're gonna look into it very strongly. Well, I guess it's covered then.
She said one thing that if he were listening, it would be a learning moment. He wasn't listening, but imagine if he had listened and taken in what she's saying in this section. If I cannot go to my home and live in a safe place and get my dignity back, this is not about ISIS. It's about I'm in danger. My people cannot go back. So there are, not always with ISIS, but other situations, there are people that can't go back to where they come from because they would be killed there or sexually assaulted or God knows what. They're stuck and they need help. Now, he wasn't paying attention, he didn't learn that lesson. He can't look into the eyes of a person who's experienced something that I personally can't imagine going through and learn through that experience. But God, it would be great if we had a president who did.
You know what, and the right wingers, I'm pretty confident they're gonna say, he was struggling understanding a woman with an accent. And I would like to think, based on his marital record, that's not the case. He could understand this woman, he just chose not to listen to her.
Yeah. That's a great point. And guys, last thing, look, even if you're MAGA, have you ever seen anyone who's more unprepared for any job ever? You know, I mean, if your dentist came in, it's like one of those ads, right? Like your dentist comes in and is like, teeth. No, I only look at ears, but all right, I'll give it a shot, right? And this guy's like, where's Iraq again? Right, I know it's tough. I'm gonna look into it very strongly. He doesn't know anything, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't even know, like, let alone geography, let alone policy, which you need to know as president. He doesn't even know how to do fake empathy. Like politicians, you could get annoyed at them because you say, hey, you know, I'm not sure they really care that much. Maybe they're faking it a little bit. This animal doesn't even know to fake it. He's like, oh yeah, your mom was killed, you were raped, I got it. I'll look into it very strongly. Okay, hey, you won the Nobel, hey, how'd you do that? Man, I'd like to do that, how'd you do that? I just told you! Okay,
Cenk, really fast, do you remember when he had to make phone calls to the spouses of people who died abroad? And worst case scenario, one would imagine, is you don't come off as genuine. He ended up feuding with one of the spouses because the call went so bad. It was like something out of The Office. It was just such a bungled job. All you have to do is call, deliver horrible information, and listen to what they have to say, show a little bit of compassion. And he could not do it, wasn't up to the task. He's not up to the task of being president, he's not up to the task of being human.
Yeah, look, if you're proud of that buffoon, deeply embarrassed for you.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching this free clip of the Young Turks. Don't forget to become a TYT member today. For more exclusive content, join now at tyt.com/join.